Oh, we know that life is full of surprises. It's mostly good, but every once in a while we get thrown a curveball, like maybe an unexpected illness or getting a life-changing disease, but being prepared always helps. So our expert in estate planning, David Carrier, has some great advice for us today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
I bet you get lots of questions all the time. I mean, you've been on the show so much, and I've learned so much. Every time you're here, it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. How do you do that? And maybe we want to touch on some of those questions you've gotten.
Sure. We get a lot of the emails. A lot of questions come up. So.
Something on the house revocable living trust. Now, even the term itself makes me a little like, what is that?
Well, this is from the actual email. Joy wanted to fix the grammar, but I said, no,
let's just get this
here.
Right.
So, if the house is under a trust, it's in a revocable living trust. This is what people do lots of times to avoid probate, save taxes, get it to the kids. They'll deed the house into the trust. Now, the question is, can guardianship get the trust? And the answer is no. The only one who can manage the trust is the trustee of the trust. See, once you put your assets into the trust, now guardianship is something that happens in probate court. Well, if you've got your house in the trust and you've named your successor trustees, they're the ones who are going to deal with it, not the guardian. So you don't have to worry. Probate court's going to get involved and substitute their judgment if you've done it correctly. So.
And, David, every time we talk to you, it seems like you're giving us more of these concepts. It just really seems so complicated. And I guess my takeaway always is you have to have an expert who understands this to help you put together a plan for your own financial future.
Well, let me. Of course, I agree with you.
Yeah.
but one of the things is we get thrown curveballs. About 3 weeks ago, we've been using this. There's one technique that we've used for over 20 years. Okay, if we have a crisis case, mom and dad going into the nursing home, one's going into the nursing home, we've been able to save pretty much everything for the at-home spouse. We didn't have to sell the cottage. If things were set up appropriately in the first place, we could still. And then 3 weeks ago, they say, hey, you know what you've been doing for the last 20 years? Nah, we thought about it, and we've been getting it wrong for the last 20 years. You can't do that anymore. And they just like you drove here today, right?
Right.
On the highway. What does the sign say? Speed limit?
70.
70 what?
Miles per hour.
No. We used to interpret it as miles per hour, but what we really meant was kilometers per hour.
Oh.
Here's your speeding ticket.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, you're going so fast, there's a reckless driving on top of it.
Okay.
That's what they did. They didn't change the signs. They didn't change the rules. They just decided, we've been wrong for the last 20 years. Here's your prize. And it's really wreaking havoc. And so, you plan ahead, you do what you can. And fortunately, on our cases, because we got the heads up, thanks to DHS, that this was coming down, we were able to do other things. But if we hadn't had things in place, just anticipating that crazy things can happen, there goes the cottage.
Well,
there goes the life savings.
And you're in the information loop, and you can reach back out to those people that you have helped make these plans and help them out. So what about parents that may be not willing to participate?
That's why we do these life plan workshops. Nobody likes to go to the lawyer. I get it, okay? So what we do, they refuse to pay the bills. They're not doing power of attorney. Things are looking rough, but still competent. On this email, the person's still competent. They've still got the full deck. They just don't feel like doing it anymore. They're in the rehab. It's like, forget about it. So the life plan workshop for people like that is a very low pressure. It's a fun experience. Go to a lawyer's office and have fun, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
kinda.
It's fun at your office because there's always treats.
Yeah,
that's what everybody says. And here are the dates and your email coming up. And I know people need to call ahead because they do fill up.
They're all filled. Yeah, we Terry warned me a long time ago. Don't say sold out because then people think they have to pay.
Right. It's
no,
free.
It's free.
But full.
But full.
Yes.
Free but full. And we just did a couple in Muskegon that were again full. So we are reaching out to the other communities, to Holland and to Muskegon as well, but these are upcoming here in Grand Rapids.
Okay, so I just have a quick question, and I didn't ask you this ahead of time. Do people have to have a large amount of money to need to put this in place, or can somebody even with a small estate
I got to tell you, the best work that we do is for people of modest means. If you have a lot of money, you get to make mistakes. All right, and it's not going to change your lifestyle. It's not going to leave you bankrupt. It's not going nursing home poverty, okay?
Right.
You can make mistakes if you have money. If you don't have mistakes, you got to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't take that much, you know. A little bit of Tabasco on the scrambled eggs makes all the difference.
That's right.
A little bit of money added to
Okay.
long-term care makes all the difference.
Right.
So,
Now, you
yeah,
guys
good
are
point.
involved in an event coming up that I know you want to talk about.
We sure
Yes,
are. David
indeed.
has
Coming
invited
up.
me to be a part of his team, literally, Saturday morning.
That's right, Carriers Cavalry. It's the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and we're really looking forward to. This is one of the first events that we've really gotten the team behind, and got a lot of people coming out for it. Terry is going to be our MC.
Yes, I'll be out there. And it is really great because this supports the Alzheimer's Association of Michigan, and it really is an important organization. They do great work. They help families navigate through really this challenging and emotional time with their family members, their loved ones, their parents or grandparents.
It is such a difficult time for because the relationships switch around.
Right.
And it's very difficult lots of times for the parents to accept that, hey, these sorts of things.
Things are changing.
And lots of times too, I'll tell you, the diagnosis, the first diagnosis of the Alzheimer's, that's the impetus. That's the trigger that gets people to actually start planning. And so the more we can be aware of it, the more we can plan in advance, put the tools in the toolbox, to be able to deal with these situations, the better off we are.
And the walk is September 13th. That's this Saturday. The walk starts at 10:15. Registration starts at 9. It's at Millennium Park in Grand Rapids, and of course, davidcarrierlaw.com. And quickly, we can listen to you on Wood Radio.
That's right. You see, so after the walk, get home and get rested up, because from 7 to 9, it's the David Carrier Show on News Radio Wood 1300.
We love that. Thanks, David.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
see you Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.